Hey everyone, thanks for checking out Everyday Short Stories. Let's get to it. This is Ken, and his story is My Brother's Sense of Humor. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.
One of the things that I've most enjoyed about family during my life is my younger brother. Um, he's a year and a half younger than me. And one of the things I enjoy most about him is his sense of humor. He, well, for example, one time the two of us were walking across a college lawn and playing this game based on the word gaggle of geese. We decided it should be generalized to the entire language. And so we were trading a gaggle of kangaroos, a daggle of dogs, a naggle of mangoes. And my brother said, or a prandle of people. We walked on for a couple seconds in silence, and then I said, prandle? And he said, it's irregular. um, Another example, my father took us, they just moved to a retirement village, and my father took us down to see the rec hall, and there was a pool table there. We'd never been around my father in a pool table before, and my brother challenged him to a game of pool, and then made the mistake of letting him break. My brother never got his turn. My father cleaned the table perfectly. And then, not satisfied with cleaning the table perfectly, he went on to gloat for about 15 minutes with all kinds of wonderful, humorous things, which my brother did not appreciate until finally my brother looked at him and said, well, if I'd misspent my youth the way you obviously misspent yours, it might be a different story. The best example, I think, though, is a story that my brother tells almost every chance he gets about his time in high school. This is about his sense of humor. And so I'm not vouching for the entire story. My guess is that parts of it are exaggerated. However, the part I can vouch for is completely true, and that's the part about the goldfish. My brother entered this science fair in high school and was looking for a project, and he heard that you could freeze a goldfish and bring it back to life. And so he went out and bought a goldfish, and indeed he successfully froze it into a solid block of ice, thawed it out, and the goldfish was still alive. A successful science project. Not so good for the goldfish, because my brother had no interest in a goldfish. So he dropped it in a goldfish bowl, put it on a shelf in his bedroom, and never thought about it again. Every couple of weeks or months or however long it took, I or my mother would wander into his room and see the goldfish in this much dirty water lying at the bottom, and would take the goldfish out and clean it and fill the bowl with water again. And this went on and on and on. It happened time and time again. My brother's conclusion from this was that his science experiment had actually been a total failure, that he had accidentally got the world's only immortal goldfish. So this story starts with him telling that story, and then moves on to the cat. He had a friend Steve, and I can vouch for this part too, up till here it's perfectly true. He did have a friend, and his name was Steve. Steve loved cats. And my brother, as he tells it, was over at his friend Steve's house one day. And Steve had offered to take care of his neighbor's cat while they were gone. And so it came time to go feed the cat, and Steve went over to feed the cat. My brother went with him. And they went into the garage where Steve usually fed the cat. And the cat was nowhere inside. They couldn't find the cat. And they waited and waited, and they still couldn't find the cat. Well, they kept the food in the freezer in the garage, and so Steve decided they'd get the food out anyway, and maybe just put it out and the cat would come. And when he opened the freezer, they found the cat. Frozen solid. My brother, as he tells his story, remembered the goldfish and said, you know, we might be able to save this cat. But I don't know anything about bringing cats back. So Steve said, well, let's ask the twins. Now the twins, according to my brother's story, were these two guys that lived on the block who went to UCLA medical school, both of them. They were identical, and they always dressed in white. So Steve goes, and he gets the twins, and they come over and look the situation over. And they decide that the most important thing about thawing this cat is to find something that will retard the speed at which it thaws. And they're looking around for something that will evaporate rapidly so that it will take up the heat as it's coming in and slow the thawing process for this cat. And so they find a can of gasoline. And they take the cat out and they start rubbing gasoline over it, hoping that this will somehow miraculously bring this cat back to life. And they rub and they rub and they rub. And again, I can't vouch for this part, but my brother says, when he tells his story, that he's rubbing this cat and he suddenly feels this little vibration. And as he rubs, the cat is purring. And they keep doing it. And the cat gets softer and softer, and sure enough, it's purring. And pretty soon, its legs are bendable. And it's definitely breathing. And then, quite suddenly, it leaps out of their hands. And it goes racing around this garage, just nonstop, going, this way, that way, over everything, up and down, on the shelves, everywhere. And there's a mattress upended against the wall on the garage. And again, this my brother tells it. This cat runs halfway up the mattress, stops, and collapses to the floor. And at this point, my brother always has this expression on his face, like, that's the story. And there's this long silence, and then someone always says, well, was it dead? And he says, oh, just ran out of gas.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to this fantastic YouTube channel. Thanks. By like and subscribe, I mean, validate me, make me feel loved. So if you don't subscribe and like, then I'll know you don't love me.